Hello there, you beautiful people. Welcome to 2025 and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Since this January marks the 3 years of my Bookstagram account and basically all of my book content creation journey, I decided that I am way overdue for a Meet the Bookstagrammer kind of thing. And so this is what today's video is all about. As much as I hate to admit it, the truth is I have absolutely no issue talking about books for hours, but I am terrible when it comes to talking about myself. I hate it, and I don't even think that's what people came here for, but I came to the conclusion that as a user that likes to look at other Bookstagrammer's content and book YouTube videos, I like knowing the people I'm getting my book recommendations from. I like knowing what they've read and what they like. And that makes a huge difference to me in the way that I accept their recommendations and the way that I'm involved with the type of content they create. I should be doing the same thing. You should know who you're accepting or not accepting book recommendations from. So let's do it. My name is Margarida. I'm from Portugal. I turned 26 in November, and I'm a project portfolio manager in an IT department. When it comes to hobbies and things that I like to do, how I like to spend my time, it's fairly obvious that I love to read. I also love to write. Music is a big chunk of my life, my day-to-day life. I don't survive without music. I love singing. I love dancing. I also love being at the beach and listening to waves and being in the ocean. I like to eat sushi, and I love my cat, who is currently nestled in my legs while I'm filming this video. Now, when it comes to my literary taste, I have none in particular. I just like to read, and I'll read about anything that I believe will give me either entertainment or have potential for me to learn something new or to expand my emotional horizons. I will pick up anything, really. Okay, but even though I don't have any specific taste, I still have preferences. I do read a bit of everything, but I still prefer fiction over nonfiction. At this point in time, it is something that I'm trying to change a little bit. I am trying to read more nonfiction. In 2024, my stats were 90% fiction and 10% nonfiction. And so, although I think it's not great, it's a great place to start to make a change, you know? I want to see if I can improve it to at least an 80-20 this year. 2025, 80-20. When it comes to fiction, I love reading mysteries and thrillers because I love making puzzles with words on a page. I love to figure out the plot. This may sound like a contradiction, and believe me, there will be plenty in this video, but even though I love mysteries and thrillers, I don't like cop books. I don't like detective books. I prefer the psyche and the behavior of the crimes or the offenses themselves to be the vehicle of the story, and not necessarily the trying to figure out, not following the detective, trying to figure out who did it, trying to figure out why they did it, why they would do something like that, what was going through their mind, what was happening in their life, how were they feeling, what emotions, what was the trigger, the people around them, did they not notice anything? I love this part of the stories. I also love alternating points of view during the story. I love the structure of the book being about different characters experiencing the same moments, but so differently, with such different intentions, with different behavior, different interpretations of what's happening. I love points of view, different points of view. Still in fiction, I love to read romances because, again, I love the human condition. I love to analyze human behavior and human emotion, human despair and joy. They are such profound feelings that it's hard to convey on paper exactly how it is that a person that doesn't even exist is feeling this. So I do like those romances that deal with identity, the human condition, and experiencing life as a human. Those are some of my favorites. However, I don't necessarily like lovey-dovey narratives. I enjoy more reading about the human experiences around love than lovey-dovey love itself. And I also love to read classic novels, which can, in part, contradict my previous statement that I don't like lovey-dovey romance, because sometimes I also do. Last year, I started a series that I called Classics Unwrapping, in which basically I wrapped up all of my classics and I put a number on them. And then I took a paper with that said number and I matched it to the book. And whatever book it landed on, it's the book that I read. And it changed my experience on reading classics, because I used to be so afraid of reading them. First, it was hard to choose which one to start with, because all of them seemed so overwhelming. And then it was the feeble mindset that for the life of me, I could not start to understand what they were talking about, what they were saying, what was written, the intentions and the meanings behind it. And I just came to the conclusion that I would read them. And if I got it, wonderful. And if I didn't get it, it's okay. You know, you don't have to know everything in life. This is another contradiction on myself, because I do like to know everything. But with classic literature, there is usually a really big difference, and it is the historical period, the context in which the story is told. That usually does make a huge difference on the story. I also love contemporary books. I love particularly when they evoke the same feeling, the same ideas of the human condition and making decisions and dealing with their consequences. I love it when they represent real stories. And contradicting myself once more, I also like it when things make absolutely no sense at all. Thus, my love for fantasy stories has become more and more real each day. And to find some sort of balance in life, I also love it when these two mix. I like it when reality mixes with fantasy, and it creates this fantastically real world in which stories are mainly human, but they don't necessarily take human form, and they do convey some of the same aspects of the real world, but they are set in magical lands. Particularly with sci-fi books that are inserted in the real world, but then they create these unreal solutions. And I love this cross between what is real and how we can fantasize about it. Regardless if it is a dystopia or a utopia, it's actually still interesting in both senses, although the drama of a dystopian future is particularly interesting. After all of these contradictions, let's go to nonfiction. When it comes to nonfiction, I particularly love books that make me learn more about the world and consequently about myself. I love learning about different cultures and the history of the world, especially when it comes to social and geographical and political and economical standpoints that allow me to realize what was done in the past, how that shapes our present, and how that can project our future for us. I particularly like to read books that make me question things all the time. And lastly, in the nonfiction, I also love bodies of work, whether it's books or scientific papers or a group of essays around feminism, race, social norms and social constructs, gender, anything really among these subjects is absolutely fascinating to me. And then to finish off this video, I thought we could play a game. This is a really tiny game that I bought in order to play with some of my friends at dinner parties or gatherings, that allows me to know a little bit more about my friends and for my friends to get to know me a little bit more as well. I'll be answering the questions that pop up. I would also love to make this a dialogue if you were to answer any of these questions in the comments below, so I can get to know you a little bit more as well, because it is, after all, a game to be played among friends. First off, what is my dream job? I'd actually love to become an author, full-time author, and create magical stories of my own. Do I have a surprising secret talent? Oh, I do. I can lick my right elbow, and I think it's the 2% of the world that can lick their elbow, but that's evidence for another video. Is there a movie or TV show I often quote for reference? Are you the criminals from the statistics? Yes, New Girl would have to be my most quoted show. Yeah, I think so. Am I a cat person or a dog person? I'm an animal person. I'm an all animal person. I have a cat, Zooks. He's still on my legs as I record this video, but I would love to have 1,000 cats and 1,000 dogs and sheep and I don't know, any animals that would like to join my future farm one day. What do I spend too much money on? Let's not talk about that. Have I ever broken any bones? I have not, and I'm not even sure how. I played volleyball, indoor and beach volleyball, for a total of 18 years, and I have never broken a single bone, and I don't know how. If I could put 5 famous people on the guest list to my party, who would they be? Oh, that depends. What kind of party is this? Okay, if it's a I want to shake my ass and have the best time of my life kind of party, I'm inviting Megan Thee Stallion, Dua Lipa, Miley Cyrus, Willow Smith, and Chappell Roan. If I want to have a dinner party and intellectualize every single thought inside my head, and I want to have great discussions, I would probably invite, and I'm assuming everyone is alive right now, so Stephen Fry, Stephen King, Sally Rooney. I recently met Paula Hawkins, and I would have loved to keep on talking to her for a bit more, so probably invite her as well. And probably Alok, and I think they could act as a double agent because I think they would be amazing to go shake some ass with as well. Next, what's the best trip I've ever taken? Greece. Oh my god, almost it's 3.5 years ago. I went to do volunteer work for 2 months in Greece, and it is still to this day the best trip I've ever taken in my life. What's the last book I read? So Paula Hawkins, actually. The Blue Hour. I read it in Portuguese. Hora Azul. Loved it. Loved it. I love this woman. I would like to have dinner with her someday to talk a little bit more. Yes. And last but not least, in the movie of my life, who would I want to play me? I have no clue. Has anyone ever thought about this? Who even looks like me? Okay, I'm ending this video on I don't know because I would love to know who you think I look like. Who would play me in a movie that you think would be good casting, regardless of personality, because they're actors and they can just fake it, you know? I hope you enjoyed this video. I really, really hope you put some comments down telling me about you when it comes to these questions that I've asked. I would really like to know more about you, and let me know if there's something else about me that you would like to know, if you want another video. I already think I spoke way too much on this one, but if you do want it, you'll have it. And that's it. Well, welcome to 2025. I'm really excited for this year, and I hope you stick around and let me know more about you. I will show you my cat now. Hello.